So today we're going to learn about a Dark and Stormy, how to make that cocktail. It's lovely, great summer drink. We're also going to see some motorcycle riding, and we're going to learn about insurance issues, car crashes, and underinsured, uninsured motorists. So why are we watching motorcycle videos and talking about insurance? Well, as you can see, I am wearing protective gear. I got a helmet, I got goggles on, I got armor on. Insurance is much like protective gear on a motorcycle. You don't want to have to use it. You don't want to have to buy it. It's expensive. But if you do crash, and that could happen, you ride a motorcycle, there's a good chance you're going to crash. You drive a car in this world, or a motorcycle, or a bike, there's a chance that you're going to get run into. It protects you from worse results. So the reason for this insurance, specifically underinsured and uninsured motorist insurance, is so that you are protected from a serious result. Yeah, you're thinking, well, they should have insurance. They do. But what if they only have a little bit of insurance? And your injuries are way more significant. Uninsured and underinsured motorist insurance is valuable there. All right, we're gonna make us a Dark and Stormy. You need a glass of ice. You can use a small glass like this, or you can use a normal size glass, which is nice and large. Some people like a little bit of fresh mint. Fresh mint is good. You're gonna need a lime. Gosling's ginger beer works wonderfully. Go with the Goslings. And the Ronza Kappa. Now that's for the special people in the world because, well, not all of us can have that. But fortunately, I'm at my friend's house, so we're drinking the good stuff. You want to put a little bit of your dark rum in. How much? Oh, about that much. That's a good amount. Put a little bit of your ginger beer in. I like to squeeze my leaves. Get that nice minty smell. And then cut the lime. Wedges are good. The most amazing doctor I know said that the biggest source of contaminants and bacteria in any bar is in your little fruits and veggies on the bar. So always use fresh. Don't mess around. Garnish. Finish off with the top end of the ginger beer so it has a nice tan color. Give yourself a little swirl. And there it is. Dark and Stormy. Now don't drink too many of these and then go driving. I would say no more than 2 at most, and probably no more than 1. It's best not to drink and drive at all. This is Jason Saville in humid Houston, working on a car crash case this morning. Car crash case involves a person who crashed into my client who did not have adequate insurance. This is called an underinsured motorist. Somebody with no insurance is an uninsured motorist. Inadequate insurance means that their insurance was not enough to cover the damages that they caused. My client, fortunately, had an uninsured motorist policy that was quite significant, well and greater than the amount of damage that was caused in this crash. They have low coverage or no coverage. They crash into you, cause serious damages to you, and they're gone. So, after settling with the person that crashed into her, she wanted to avail herself of the underinsured motorist policy that she purchased from her insurance company, and has asked them to pay for the remainder of the costs. And for some reason, that insurance company is not wanting to pay. It's Farmers Insurance, the one on TV with the neat commercials. And I like those commercials, and I like that actor, and it sounds great. But if they're not going to pay, they're not going to pay. and hopefully they will soon. They know that they should do this because if we win at trial, the damages go up significantly. There's policies in Colorado against the underinsured motorist coverage company, the insurance company, denying that claim without a valid purpose. In this case, it's clear there's a valid claim. Potentially there's an argument about the amount, and that's fair. The person that crashed into my client had $25,000 worth of coverage. My client has well in excess of $100,000 worth of damages to her. They want to pay as little as possible, of course. But they also know that if we go to trial and win, they're going to get whacked with 3 times damages plus attorney's fees, and it is very expensive for them. In Colorado, there's a big policy, public policy, in forcing the insurance company to pay for that because, well, 1, you contracted for it, and 2, they don't want these lawsuits hanging out there. They want it done. So part of the way that public policy works is that if you go to trial and prove that the insurance company either delayed or denied coverage without a valid reason, then you get 3 times damages and attorney's fees. That is what I'm working on today. Hopefully we'll get to a resolution of this case quickly. We just want my client to be healthy, happy, and have her medical bills and pain and suffering paid for. I would like to say that it's something that's important and for all people that drive. If you drive an automobile or a motorcycle or anything else, get insurance, number 1. Get as much insurance as reasonable for you to afford. I want you to know that the minimums, $25,000 is commonly a minimum in most states, is inadequate to take care of any real crash, period. If somebody gets injured in a car crash, their hospital bills, their damages, etc., are going to be well over $25,000. A broken bone is typically valued at $50,000 in total costs and damages. A broken bone's not that hard to do. If you have a head injury of some kind, it could be $1 million or more. Significant injuries that are long-lasting. I don't think anybody wants to know that they crashed into somebody and caused damages that would affect somebody else for the rest of their life, and they had inadequate insurance so that person is actually suffering for the rest of their life and suffering at a higher rate because they don't have the money to pay for it. So the reason to have reasonable coverage is to make sure you don't hurt somebody else, and then that they don't get a recovery that's adequate. You want uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage so that you can make sure that if somebody else crashes into you and they don't have adequate coverage, that you get taken care of. And I would have suggested at least $250,000. It's not very expensive compared to other insurance or other car insurance. It will help protect you when somebody else is at fault and they don't have sufficient coverage. The other insurance that anybody should consider is an umbrella policy. An umbrella policy is especially important for anybody who has a home or other assets that they want to protect. If you get in a car crash or some other injury situation where somebody else is injured and it's catastrophic, usually meaning a brain injury or possible death, that's expensive. And they will sue you, and if your insurance is not enough to cover it, well, then they're going to go after whatever assets you also have, which means your home and everything else you own. So I suggest that everybody get insurance of at least $1 million of umbrella if you have a home, at least $250,000 in coverage of uninsured or underinsured for yourself and anyone in your car, and at least $250,000 in coverage for other people on car insurance. It's very important in any kind of car crash case where you have been injured that you talk with a lawyer very soon, and there's a reason for that. Typically, your insurance company will require you to make some sort of statement in a reasonable amount of time after the crash. You do have to let them know about the crash, regardless of whether it's your fault or other people's fault, very quickly, as soon as you reasonably can. But you don't have to make the statement immediately. statement is when you say what happened and they ask you questions about what happened. This does not have to be done immediately. Especially if you have been injured, you can delay that. Basically, what you can tell your insurance company is, I'm happy to cooperate, but I cannot do that right now. I need some time to gather my thoughts and to deal with my injuries. In that time, you can talk to an attorney. I'd be happy to help you and walk you through what to know. It's not extensive or lengthy, but it is important. As far as talking to the opposing person's insurance company, not your own insurance company, the other insurance company, do not talk to them at all. There's no requirement that you talk to them, and all they're going to do is try to make it look like you are at fault, that you are not injured, that you are at fault, and that you don't deserve anything to get paid. They are not on your side. Their sole job is to reduce the amount of money that they pay out. End of story. They're not your friend. There's no requirement. There's no reason to do it. I'd be happy to discuss any car crash, any accident situation with anybody, help them figure out what's going on there, help them understand how I get paid and how I add value to your case, where you will get more money than you would have without an attorney.